Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad you're here for the launch of our Morning Buzz Show. And usually this is a segment on CCN Sunrise, but today we're expanding this into its own show on Crown City Network. Today we discuss Otto Warmbier, the story, the very sad, horrible
really
story,
sad story yeah.
of his loss.
And the bigger issues around that. There are other folks there now, and what can we do?
Absolutely.
Right.
We're also going to talk a little bit about the interesting situation with the DNC. And
right,
who
servers.
Did what,
More about the servers, and was there help offered that was refused?
Right,
So
that'll be our last segment.
Yeah, we have Lance Wood going to talk to us about that.
Right, so he's going to do that with us, but we're also going to talk about some of the threats for the president and just, you know.
Right. Well, you got a lot of celebrities.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that
Yeah.
and what it is and where it comes up to the Second Amendment. I'm interested in what Lance has to say about these issues and where that line is.
Exactly.
All right, but we start this morning with the Otto Warmbier story. The young American who was held in North Korea for more than a year. He was brought back to the United States in a coma and died a few days later. So with us is pundit Lance Wood, who joins us to talk about this, and I cannot imagine what the family is going through. What are your thoughts in terms of, is North Korea responsible for Lance, for his death?
Yeah, my heart goes off to his mom and dad, Fred and Cindy. You just can imagine. When I was a young boy of 21, went with college, we went and toured 5 countries in Europe. And on our bicycles, we had a wonderful time going to all these different countries. So here he is, he's going to spend 5 days in Korea. He sees this poster, he thought, oh, that would look so great on the wall of my bedroom. So he goes and he grabs it. Next thing you know,
because everybody's watching, right?
Yes, and they didn't, whatever, they maybe didn't should have been told not to do things like that. But next thing you know, this isn't a soldier.
Right.
You know, we're not spying. He's a 21-year-old boy having a good time. He's excited, does something. Now he ends up in trial, gets a prison, and for some reason they did something to him. I could just imagine. To where now he comes home, he doesn't see or speak, and then he dies a few days later.
Coma. Now they spoke about him having botulism and being in a coma, and I would imagine that they'll be doing an autopsy on his body,
yes,
so that we can really confirm what some of the issues may have been or what happened to him during that.
Was it
time
ill
period,
treatment
possibly.
on the basis of the North Koreans, or was it a diet, or was it something that was inherently wrong with?
Well, one of the things I
Otto.
wanted to just bring up, I'm going to be the next president in our city of Signal Hill as the Rotary president. And Rotary, if you look at the wheel, it has those 6 spokes. The one main spoke is our peace and conflict resolution. We have been very instrumental in the backgrounds of keeping peace and dialogue before we have to go to war. Because remember, war is the absence of love. It's just the way it is. So those folks, as you can tell, they're not about love over there. They're 200,000 people a year are just flat out starving. We go over with the space station, and they go over the peninsula of Korea. Above that military line, there's only a couple spots of white from electricity. The rest of South Korea, it looks like New York City.
If you've never been exposed to anything different, you don't know. And
yes,
obviously they believe that their ruler is doing the right thing, and they are indoctrinated by rhetoric from
yes,
the government, and that daily Americans are bad. But I think the big thing with him too, with Otto, he was supposedly in a coma from the get-go.
That's right.
So I'm not sure why they wouldn't have bothered shipping him back so he could get medical attention and just kind of move away from
Well,
the
what
whole
we're finding
situation.
out is there's a lot of brain deterioration. So it does, yes, it sounds like right after he was detained and then he went off the grid, these people, for centuries, you don't know what they can do. And next thing you know, if he was all bruised up and beat up, they had to wait 18 months for him to come back and not have all that skin and bruising and coloration and stuff like that. And
do you think that contributed to the fact, because the Obama administration was doing some things to get him out? I know the president had criticized as to why there wasn't more done. But is it possible that his physical condition was one of the reasons that they were not?
They were stalling, essentially,
yeah,
to
they
heal
were
his
stalling.
body,
Yeah.
regardless, keep him alive long enough to heal his body. And get him
Yeah,
back.
and then they were smart, like you alluded to in your introduction. Yeah, it would have been terrible to have this young man die on their soil. Boy, that's...
Now, talk a little bit about, we've taken almost all the sanctions we can against North
Yes.
Korea. We've said that we're going to hold them responsible. In your view, what does that actually mean in terms of what can the Trump administration actually do, or the world for that matter?
Well, I know
in terms
Japan's quite concerned. and
Sure,
China.
they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what in the background we've been trying to do is we've been dealing with these guys, trying to do things for like 25 years, and we're getting the same result. How is year 26 going to be any better? So they're really getting to the point where the diplomacy it's ending. And you know what? The American people, we have spent billions to be strong. And they've got 20-year technology behind us. They've got cannons and stuff like that. That's all they've got. So if I was Trump, I'd say, you know, we got our aircraft carriers, we got our jets, we got our Trident submarines, we got our B-2 stealth bombers. On the same day, same time, we're going in. So maybe they'll get a few things off. And the people in that country, because I know from when, you know, I just missed the Vietnam War, and I've met the North Vietnamese people that were there. We were praying that you would nuke, because these communists, we're suffering so bad. We rather go to heaven or whatever their faith says they're going to go. They're ready. So it's, you know,
It's different.
it's been 70 years we've been dealing with his dad,
Right.
and now with him.
Well, and it's different too because we have an iron curtain like we used to have with Russia. And it's not to say that some of those behaviors don't go away. We still have communism with China. But there's the iron curtain still there in
Yes.
North Korea, which is so different from the other countries that we
Well,
deal
little
with
history.
within communism in Cuba.
Yes, a little history. 1950s. Okay, we've got this showing up in Korea. Guess what? We had to pull out General MacArthur out of retirement. He just got done having to take care of the problem we had with the Japanese. Okay, next thing you know, he's going in there, he's declaring war. But the trouble is, our president at the time, Truman, he's got influenced by the UN. This is the first UN war. We end up doing a policing thing. We did an armistice. We end up making a line.
Let's see what
and
the
look
UN
at the problems.
does this time around.
Right.
You know, so we see here, and MacArthur told them, he said, look, if we don't take care of this problem, we're going to be back here in 20 years. Guess what? That was Vietnam. Okay, I missed it by a month. So this are the things that happens if we try to do appeasement. It doesn't work,
Exactly.
unfortunately.
So let's go on to our next topic.
Yes.
How's that?
Very good.
All right, coming up, plenty of death threats to the President of the United States. We'll be talking about that.
Right. Another celebrity has made a threat against the president. And the question is, has it gone too far? We're going to talk about that next.